Introducing the new Volvo XC90 with 7-seat versatility, Google built-in, and advanced safety features for all your precious cargo. The new Volvo XC90, designed for life. Visit volvocars.com/US to learn more.
On WhatsApp, no one can see or hear your personal messages. Whether it's a voice call, message, or sending a password. To WhatsApp, it's all just this. So whether you're sharing the streaming password in the family chat or trading those late-night voice messages that could basically become a podcast, your personal messages stay between you, your friends, and your family. No one else. Not even us. WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone.
If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you, sir?
Because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got. If you don't like what we tell you to believe in, we'll kill you.
All right, kids. Listen. Don't listen to this podcast.
Don't listen to this.
If you're not of age.
What's of age?
18.
So 16?
18. We're a bunch of dudes, and we're going to say some really bad words.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Conspiracy Podcast.
Yo, what's up, my peoples?
The whole crew's back.
I'm finally back, yes.
Jorge
finally
is alive.
Feeling better, finally. Mm-hmm. Went through some shit for like a week.
Legit.
But we're back.
Good. And you listened to
Oh yeah, I'm all caught up. I'm all caught up.
Okay, so he knows. He knows.
He's up to date with what we went over.
You guys should be. If you haven't listened to episode 1, go back.
Yeah, there you go.
Great
Obviously,
point.
don't start here.
Don't do it.
Don't start here. Yeah.
There's
it's not gonna make sense.
There's a lot of cool stuff in that first episode, though.
Yeah, a bunch of stuff that I didn't even really know had happened. Like, you know, I didn't even know the guy was an actor, like a famous actor or whatever.
I knew he was an actor, but I thought he was a scrub.
I
thought he was like a
he
nobody.
got famous from doing what he, from what he did.
That segment that we did is not in many other podcasts of his level of fame
and his family's level of fame.
Yeah.
There was like a dynasty of like actors.
Yeah, the Adam Driver comparison.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Anyways, go back, listen to that. Where we left you was essentially the 3 things happened all at once.
The try attack.
Yes, that's right.
Well, one didn't actually happen.
Yeah,
he was like, "Fuck this."
He lost his courage.
Yeah,
he lost his nerve, or
maybe
whatever.
he gained a conscience. You know,
Yeah.
one of the two, or both.
Exactly. So at the end of the last episode, we were Booth had just jumped onto the stage, semper tyrannis, and he was basically, and we were talking about how it was strange that nobody really did anything.
Yeah, but then I made the super valid point of like,
if I do say so myself.
I mean, these guys are all this is all like high society at a play. There's not like any like hardcore. They got servants and shit for like that kind of work.
No, on top of that, I don't know if it was you or someone else that was saying it, like, and I was like thinking to myself the same thing, that it's a play, like they're at a theater, like it could be something going on stage that you don't know, and you're just trying to like.
This is so exciting! What a cool
There's no special effects in that day.
I know, right? This is the special effects.
Also, he was known for his stunts.
Yeah, it's like Michael Bay.
Oh yeah.
Booth was known for his like.
I know you said his athletic acrobatics.
Yes, yeah. I mean, how many stunts can you do on a play? I mean, I guess you could. Yeah.
I mean,
like fight scenes in a play.
Maybe, I guess.
Is that a stunt?
Yeah, a little John
He's
Wick.
like, no, actually punch me.
Yeah.
Like,
John Wick 1865.
I know, with a fucking musket. With the quick reload on the musket.
Prequel.
Okay, so John Wilkes Booth made a daring escape from Ford's Theater. As he limped out the back door into the alley, he retrieved his horse.
Oh, that's right, because he broke his fibula.
Yeah, that's right. Which the horse had been held during the performance by Joseph Burroughs, also known as Peanuts. His name was Peanuts.
Was he like the sycophant? Like the guy who was like,
he was a young African American boy who worked at Ford's Theater selling snacks and running errands, right?
So he wasn't the guy who was part of like the conspiracy. He was just like a kid.
This is the part that's a little confusing. It's a
so
little confusing,
Peanuts
right?
Might be part of it.
Booth paid Peanuts a small fee to hold the horse while he watched the play.
Wait. Sorry. Wasn't this guy super anti-North, super South, hated that slavery was ending, and he paid a black kid?
Yep.
True.
That's, I mean, whoa. I mean, maybe he's like that dedicated? Because I'm like, it doesn't seem like that would be something a guy who's so pro slavery to do.
He would be like, just do it.
Yeah, like do it now. Or just get a white dude to do it. I don't know.
You know, and this is why it gets a little confusing, because Peanuts said he had no idea Booth planned to assassinate the president.
I highly doubt he knew.
And originally, Booth asked Edmund Spangler, which was a stagehand, to watch the horse. But Spangler said, no, I'm busy. So then he said, go to Peanuts and get Peanuts to do it.
So he was already there, and he's like, I got no other choice. Let me pay this kid.
Yeah.
Well, it also
he
seemed
needed
like
to do what he needed to do.
But again, here's what's weird is that Spangler got a lot of shit later as being an accomplice.
Because
even though Peanuts is the one who held the horse.
But I mean, obviously Peanuts isn't gonna like try to kill the dude who like freed his people.
No.
He's not gonna be like, oh fucking General Lee is my hero and like obviously.
So we don't really know on that part. Like we'll find out later in the trial in the next episode of like who said what.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And who's, because remember, and this is going to be a big part of this story is at the end of it, we're going to go, there were some people that were tried, convicted, hanged.
Yes.
And there were some people who weren't. So we're also going to go, was this too harsh?
Or was it not harsh enough?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So there you go.
A little slap on the hand and
So Booth jumped on the horse, sped through the dark streets of Washington. His goal was to reach the Navy Yard Bridge, and it was a wooden drawbridge over the Anacostia River, and it was one of the few southern exits from the city. Okay. By that hour, Washington was under a strict military curfew.
Yeah, by that time, they're like, someone trying to assassinate the president. Lock it down, boys.
No, but they didn't know. So keep in mind, there's no Twitter.
There's no radio. There's no
there's no
Twitter.
This is happening minutes after.
Yeah. Okay.
But there's a military curfew because it's wartime.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
The war just ended.
The war just ended, and there was still for
picking
example,
out the pieces and shit, like trying to.
Yeah. So for example, Robert E. Lee surrendered at Appomattox, right? But he was the general of the Northern Army of the South. So there's still other.
The Northern Army of the South?
No, so he was a general.
Northern Virginia.
Yeah. He was the general for the South, but of the northern part
of it.
Okay,
yes. Meaning, like, you need to get everybody to surrender.
He's not like in Mississippi and they're like, fuck that, we're not done, boys.
Yeah. So there's still like insurgents and there's still, the war ended like 10 days ago. Okay, good. So by that hour, it was under strict military curfew. The curfew was 9 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They closed the bridges at 9 p.m.
Okay.
You're not allowed to go, okay? Bridges were guarded, and civilians needed passes to leave the city at night. Booth arrived at the Navy Yard Bridge a short time after the assassination. Generally, it's agreed around 10:30.
Oh, so it's not like 9:05.
No,
it's like an hour and a half later.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a key point there. It's it's not like it was like, oh shit, we just closed. Okay, fine.
It's late. Yeah. The bridge's guard post was manned by Sergeant Cobb of the 3rd Massachusetts Artillery. Cobb testified later that a lone horseman approached from the city side of the bridge and asked permission to cross. Cobb challenged Booth. So he says in his testimony.
Oh yeah, obviously.
He says.
Challenged him.
You're gonna get hanged, bro.
And said, sorry, curfew. You're not allowed to pass. Yeah?
Yeah.
So Booth then supposedly put on his charm and confident demeanor, told Cobb he needed to cross to return home to his fiancée in southern Maryland, and claimed he had been in Washington on personal business. Booth never mentioned the assassination.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
News of the shooting hadn't reached.
Yeah, smart. He's like,
yeah. News of the shooting hadn't reached the guard post. Cobb hesitated, knowing the curfew, but Booth's composure convinced Booth that there was no threat.
Booth's composure convinced Cobb.
Right. Yes, there you go. He let Booth pass, noting that Booth was well-dressed, polite, and persuasive. But
I could see that, but that's
there's
so annoying.
conflicting stories. So in shows or other documentaries, etc., they say he said his name was Booth.
Ooh.
And the guy was like starstruck.
Oh, he was like, "Oh, I've seen one of your plays, brother.
My wife loves your plays.
Yeah,
She loves you. Okay, yeah, of course you can pass.
Yeah.
I mean that makes sense though.
Yeah. Now in other like this book doesn't say that. He says that he just was
kind of put on his charm. And
I think that's way more plausible than like some like rando trying to like
the name dropping.
Oh yeah, some rando trying to smooze him, and he's like, "Fuck off," and he's like, "Oh, John Wilkes Booth." Oh, and they're like, "Wait, what?
Yeah.
Say that again."
It's kind of strange. And this is what Katie was talking about in the last episode.
She rages
about it because, do you remember David Herold? David Herold was the guide.
Oh,
he's the guide in the conspiracy, and he was at the Secretary of State Seward's house to be the getaway horse.
The getaway horse for
Powell.
the Powell, the goddamn
slashed
psycho.
everybody.
He literally
right?
stabbed like 12 people.
Yeah. He left Powell, if you remember.
Yeah, because the servant came down and was like, "Murderers!"
And so he left Powell and he went to rendezvous with Booth. But he also needed to cross that bridge.
And they let him pass too? Dude, these guards are fucking shit.
Herold made his way by horseback to meet Booth outside the city limits, but he also had to cross the bridge. Cobb stopped him, said the same thing, but again decided he wasn't a threat and
Cobb
let him
is in
pass.
on. Dude, Cobb is a double agent. Cobb is in on it for sure.
That was 15 minutes later.
I wouldn't see the one thing.
So he's just letting dudes go.
One thing I'd be curious
But also,
is
like 15 minutes, he doesn't know what's going on.
He doesn't know yet.
No, but
and
hear me out.
Okay.
Did Cobb? Are these the only two people Cobb led over the bridge? Did they turn anyone else away?
Good question.
Yeah,
we don't know that
because then I think that's a real big indicator that he's on the inside.
Yeah.
If he turned everyone else away, but these two guys really, gave me the business. And
also, if I was writing a book or like on this, if I was like this, I'm dedicated my life to this, I would find out what the curfew law read.
Oh, like how strict it was.
Yeah, like
it was like except for emergencies,
or like at your own discretion.
Or
it's like recommended.
Yeah, like if they have a weapon, no way.
Or it's like where like
drunk,
a road's closed through traffic, but it's like I live on the road. They're like, okay, you're good,
right? Yeah. So anyways.
Still sus.
Yeah,
fucking sus.
So they both got across.
Yeah.
So cool. Okay. Yeah, cool. It just is so frustrating because it defeats the point of a guard stop.
You have a military curfew with guards,
and it started because you remember the guard at Abe's door.
Yeah, he's at the bar.
Yeah. Yes. So it just starts with fucking
negligence.
Yes. Or you need 3 in a row. Yeah, you need 3 in a row to allow this.
And as we say all the time, it's like if it's more than one, there's more than 2 coincidences. It's a fucking conspiracy.
Okay, so they got through the bridge. Their first stop around midnight was a place called Surrattsville.
Okay. Oh yeah, and the Surrattsville is where
there you go.
Is where the what my wife calls the whore.
Yes.
Like,
the den mother.
Yeah, the den mother. Mm-hmm. That's where her place is, and that's obviously her family name is Surratt.
That's right.
Yeah.
So they went to a tavern and or a boarding house. Either, I like tavern better. So we'll go with that. It was owned by Mary Surratt. Booth had previously arranged for supplies to be hidden and stored there. Earlier that day, Mary Surratt visited the tavern herself and told the innkeeper, John Lloyd, to have, and I quote, have the shooting irons ready for pickup.
The shooting irons? What the fuck does that mean? What's a shooting iron?
So when I did look up shooting iron, just to make
what does that mean? Like
guns.
Why are they called shooting irons?
I don't know, because they shoot Iron.
That's all I could.
You know what? Maybe you're
yeah,
right.
like
damn, that actually makes a lot of sense. Shit, you fucking got me.
No, and I wanted to make sure that's what it meant, so I like looked it up. I was like, well, maybe he's gonna do the back nine.
I know, get my irons ready.
You know. Anyway, so that was per John Lloyd. So he testified that Mary Surratt said that, which is extremely implicating.
Oh well, she obviously was like a big player.
Yeah.
As you said, logistical sports.
Yeah.
I mean, she's.
When Booth and Herold arrived, they quickly collected a carbine rifle, ammunition, and field glasses that were hidden for them. They spent a few minutes there. A chilling detail, since Mary Surratt's role in providing these supplies would be a later evidence against her in court, meaning they were there for a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And she was...
Yeah, she was...
She you'll find out later, but she got a real bad... Anyways, yeah.
Anyway,
she got the worst conviction that you can get out of this situation. Anyways. So equipped for flight, Booth and Herold pressed on into the Maryland countryside. Despite his theatrical bravado, Booth was extremely in pain. His left leg was in agony from the
leg.
You can't act that out.
No, I'm fine.
But so he was like, at a certain point, they were like, this is so much pain, I need attention.
Oh, for sure.
I need medical attention. I can't continue.
And not to mention, this is also like the 1800s, so it's like, it's not, homie's like, you know.
And the adrenaline's like gone.
Wearing
now.
off.
Yeah, it's gone now. Yeah. So the pain sets in.
So they decided that the only nearby quote unquote friendly doctor was the farm of Dr. Samuel Mudd.
Oh, yeah. And Samuel Mudd he's part of that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It was 30 miles.
Did you talk about that guy in the first? I don't remember.
did.
Briefly.
I don't remember that.
Very briefly.
Who is this guy again?
So remember at the beginning, we were like, these are the characters in this. That's all we talked about. We just said he's part of it.
He's part of it, and he's kind of a sympathizer.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But you're right. We didn't really.
No, it was very. It was like for 1 second.
But he's like, oh yeah. I was like, oh shit, I missed it.
Yes.
So Dr. Mudd's farm was about 30 miles south of the theater. So that's how far they've kind of gone.
Okay. Yeah, so on horseback, they're like, all right, 6 hours, boys, we'll fucking be there.
They arrived around 4 a.m. to the Mudd farm.
Okay, so this is 6
hours.
About 6 hours.
Yeah,
Wow. So I can pull that out of my ass.
Yeah, 8 to 10 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a gallop.
Yeah.
It's a gallop, on a horse.
The resident cowboy.
You're not going
You're not going all out the whole way. No, the horse will die.
Yeah. I mean, you had to stop at the bridge a couple times.
Yeah, right. Get a little schmoozeroos on Mr. Cobb.
Okay, so
make your next vacation unforgettable on Royal Caribbean's newest ship, Star of the Seas. It's everything you've loved about every family vacation you've ever been on, with mind-blowing thrills at the largest water park at sea, 7 onboard pools for every level of chill, more than 40 ways to dine and drink, and even more to enjoy at our award-winning private island, Perfect Day at Coco Cay. This is the new Star of the Seas. Click or tap the banner to find out more.
Hey, business owners, we know you know the importance of maximizing every dollar. With the Delta SkyMiles Reserve Business American Express card, you can make your expenses work just as hard as you. From afternoon coffee runs to stocking office supplies and even team dinners, you can earn miles on all your business expenses. Plus, you can earn 110,000 bonus miles for a limited time through July 16th. The Delta SkyMiles Reserve Business Card. If you travel, you know. Minimum spending requirements and terms apply. Offer ends 7/16/25.
Okay, good. So apparently Mudd welcomed them. Now, they did have a slave. So a lot of this testimony is from the slave.
How do they still have a slave? I thought they got freed.
Well, I mean, good question. I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, okay.
I think they were paid. I think goes back to like they were
paid slavery.
Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like there was no Reconstruction yet.
Yeah, they have like
they just got the paper.
Yeah, well, they passed it, and they were like, "We're gonna work on the logistics on like how to actually free everybody."
Maybe I'll change the wording. Servant.
Well, maybe I think this. This guy's a sympathizer. He probably still had the slave.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. True. Okay, so apparently Mudd welcomed them like graciously,
with open
arms.
It
Like, who the fuck are you?
My lord, welcome back.
Yeah, it was like, I recognize you. Yeah. Mudd brought them into the house. He splinted the fractured fibula and cut off his boots. Right? Or cut off his boots, then splinted the fibula. It gave him a shoe to fit over his swollen foot. Then decided that they should rest for a few hours. So
this is aiding and abetting a fucking murderer.
Oh, yeah.
So at that time, so then he slept for a few hours. But his role would later become one of the most controversial parts of the case because Mudd claimed later that he never recognized Booth.
Oh, what a piece
And
of
he
shit.
was doing his duty as a doctor. Helping
his oath, the oath of a doctor or whatever.
Oh, the Hippocratic oath.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if they had the Hippocratic oath at that time.
I'm not sure, yeah.
But something of the similar nature, right? Where it was,
it's like
I gotta help a wounded bird or a wounded person.
Yeah, I doubt it.
That he said that he was simply aiding two weary strangers, one of whom had a broken leg. But everybody, I mean, this is pretty much a false thing because Mudd knew him when they met. And in fact, Mudd apparently had been part of the kidnapping plot earlier.
Yeah.
Right? Surratt. Remember the guy who pieced out, like he couldn't, like he drank and he didn't do his job?
He didn't kill he didn't kill like the VP.
Police officer.
Yeah, he's supposed to kill the VP and he's like, I'm fucking out.
When they were caught, he did a confession. And
he folded so fast.
And,
okay, I'll fucking tell you everything.
And in his confession, he said that Booth sent liquor and provisions to the Mudd farm 2 weeks earlier. So this was the evidence that
I love how he
Mudd.
said, I love how he said liquor.
Yeah.
That's we're gonna need that.
Yeah. And he says, and I quote, "When Booth arrived at the house, Mudd knew exactly who he was." James Swanson, which is the author of the book that a lot of this is based on, notes bluntly, it defies belief that a famous actor who had just assassinated the president could sleep in your own house and you wouldn't notice or do a thing. It's almost like saying, using our last episode, it's like saying Adam Driver was sleeping in your house and you heard that the president was shot. You know what I mean?
And
You
you're
wouldn't,
like,
and you never knew him, or you know what I mean? You wouldn't do anything, or you
like
would.
your antennas, like something doesn't go off, and and
it's also you're like, come in, come on in, my man. Like, let me fix your leg. Why is your leg broken?
Okay, so all evidence suggests that Mudd, if he wasn't part of the conspiracy, then he was at least complicit.
Oh, he's aiding and abetting. Oh yeah, he's 100%
in it.
Yeah. In any case, Booth and Herold spent about 24 hours at the Mudd farm, and they lied low all of April 15th. While back in Washington, a storm of activity was beginning because
that shit was popping off.
Secretary of War.
Can't wait to see what kind of consequence he gets. What kind of
Secretary of War Stanton was extremely close with Lincoln, and he took it as like his personal.
Yeah, he's like,
I'm
taking it. These motherfuckers are gonna burn.
Yeah. And also an interesting part, a side note, if you wanted to dive more into the history of it, Secretary of War Stanton really didn't get along with the new president, Johnson.
Yeah. Who was a VP?
Yeah, and he was a little bit more lenient on slavery, and he was a little bit more like he almost stopped the Reconstruction, almost all of it. So
which was literally like the fucking
like totally against what Lincoln was.
It was like that was like the linchpin of his fucking whole thing. Was like hell yeah, like let's do this.
Exactly. So it's an interesting dive because he was also one of the first presidents impeached. Johnson.
Oh really?
Yeah. Anyways, that's on a side. But news of Lincoln's assassination spread rapidly, and by daybreak on April 15th, the federal government was mobilizing to pursue the conspirators. Now, they knew it was a conspiracy because there was multiple attacks at the same time.
Yeah, that's not an accident.
Yeah.
So especially they were executing them at the same time, too.
By this time, it's like, what, a couple days later?
Just one day.
One day, the next day.
Yeah. So everybody knows like what went down already. Yeah.
And it's kind of like put it into the perspective. Say you're the leaders, like say we're the leaders of America and we just won the war. But we haven't kind of gotten all our ducks in a row of who, like we couldn't even find Jefferson Davis yet, who was the quote unquote president of the South.
Yeah.
So we got the general to surrender, the army, but it's still chaos.
But that was also just only one. I was like, while he was like the main general, there's still other high-ranking officers and
smaller regiments.
Yeah, there's other shit going on.
But if you could imagine, I would freak the fuck out and think that this is the government's being overthrown.
Oh yeah, well the war's back. The war's back on.
Yeah. So this is absolute chaos. Secretary of War Stanton sent telegrams to military outposts ordering the arrest of Booth and any accomplices. The War Department promised no mercy. Anyone aiding the assassins would be treated as accomplices to murder. So it was like...
Everybody's getting it.
Yes, like you aid in a bed, you are...
Dude, that's from...
You are the murderer.
You are the murderer. Yeah,
I don't know why I just like thought of that fucking 300 where he's like, no prisoners, no mercy. I'm like, hell yeah, let's go, boys.
Massive rewards were announced. On April 20th, Stanton advertised a combined $100,000 reward.
Oh my God, in the 1800s, you're like
millions today. Yes. Millions today. I mean, I should have looked it up. What's the conversion? But for the capture of Booth, Herold, and John Surratt specifically, $50,000 for Booth, $25,000 each for Herold and John Surratt.
And this is in 1865. 1865. Yeah. 1865 to the present. Oh, it's $2 million.
$2 million.
In
today's
million.
money. Yeah, $2 million. That's a bounty.
That is hell yeah. Dude, I'd be like, all right, boys.
Motivate anybody.
Let's get in the truck. Yeah. Let's go find us.
I wonder what the highest reward ever offered by the government or the FBI is.
Yeah. I mean, that seems like it might be the highest.
Yeah. I mean, who else would be?
Dude, kill the president, bro.
Lee Harvey was on the run for like a day or like 12 hours, right? Remember? It wasn't like 12
there wasn't
days.
even time to put out a bomb.
I mean, that guy was so aloof. Like, oh my God.
And then there was a proclamation, and it said, and it asked all citizens to join in the manhunt. And it said, let the stain of innocent blood be removed from the land by the arrest and the punishment of the murderers.
God, things are so fucking poetic.
I know. I was just thinking that.
The stain of innocent blood.
Every man should consider his own conscience charged with this solemn duty to catch them.
God,
you know what I mean?
I love the old way of speaking. Now I'd be like, cuties, bitches.
And what's interesting, and we'll talk about it a little bit more, is that Booth thought he was going to be a hero.
Oh, he definitely thought he was going. He was a martyr. He thought he was going to be like the king.
But everybody was outraged because it was a cowardice way.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
You shoot a man
in the back of it, in the back of the head.
Yeah.
While he's at a play.
In front of his wife.
With his wife holding the hand. You know what I mean? Like, that's a fucking...
Yeah, and then you stab like his homie, like the major.
God. Yeah. A War Department wanted poster issued by Stanton on April 20th offered $100,000 with Booth has his photo flanked by John Surratt and David Herold. Again, anyways, the posters were put up, blanketed across the country over the next couple of days. On April 16th, the day after Lincoln died, the manhunt was fully underway. But Booth and Herold had a head start, obviously, and we went over that. And he was familiar with the terrain. Herold was the reason why he had Herold was because he was like his guide.
He was the guide, yeah.
Yeah, so he knows everywhere. It's Southern Maryland was like a patchwork of swamps, thickets, and farm roads known to locals and Confederate sympathizers who had been smuggling. There you go. There it is. And we'll put that up there.
Yeah, that's a great
Jorge is showing the wanted poster.
Yeah, we got to put it up. Instagram at least, or Patreon. I don't know. We'll save it for Patreon.
No, the other thing too is that's interesting is like you have to think like when they're putting out this information, like the speed of information is so slow. So it's in order to actually, it's not like you can put out like an APB, like an all points bulletin for these guys. You have to send a courier to then relay this information.
Yeah,
like it wasn't like you just call up all the departments or like it's just like you get an email. And they're like, look for these guys.
Yeah.
So having a head start is like
huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Booth. So keep in mind too, like this is where there were 4 years of war. So there's rebel agents hiding, and they knew how to smuggle. They knew the land. They knew,
Well, this is back to the point where it's like, the full Reconstruction hasn't happened. Like,
yes,
you still have guys who are like, fuck this, like pissed off. We just lost. Of course, we're gonna help this guy.
Yeah. Exactly. He couldn't have chosen a more friendly terrain because there's a sympathizer like on every other farm.
Yeah.
You know? So they left the mud farm once night fell, and they struggled through the Maryland backwoods. At one point, they got lost in the dense swamp. The night was rainy and moonless, and the pair became disoriented. They eventually enlisted the help of a local Confederate sympathizer, Oswell Swan, who guided them to the home of Captain Samuel Cox, another Confederate agent in Southern Maryland. Their goal was to get the fuck to Virginia.
Yeah.
Like, they wanted, because Virginia was almost like the line of
demarcation for like
south,
right?
You know,
which is weird because it's still like
it's north to us.
It's north to us, but like in that time,
but the way it was divided,
that time. Captain Cox did not keep the fugitives at the house long for fear of the Union patrols. Instead, he directed Booth and Herold to hide in a pine thicket near his farm. He contacted Thomas Jones, his foster brother, and another Confederate agent to take charge of the fugitives. Thomas Jones was a veteran smuggler who had...
They were like, why are they laughing? This is take 16, boys.
Thomas Jones turned out to be a veteran smuggler who had run secret mail across the Potomac, and Jones was well-versed in eluding the cavalry and the Union, etc. He met Booth and Herold in the pine forest, brought them food, newspapers, etc., and he got them to stay in the thicket for 5 days.
It's so funny. It's like
he gets home.
You gotta give him like entertainment, so like some newspapers. Like, what are you gonna do for 5 days? Like in the woods, you're like,
but
fuck.
At this point, this was when Booth found out that everybody was like, he wasn't the hero.
No, he was like public enemy number one.
Yeah, like even the South was like, "This
you idiot! Like
this is
you're so dumb. You just fucked it for us. We're trying to negotiate good deals."
Right. Yeah. It was only now that Booth fully realized the magnitude of his deed. Instead of being hailed as a Southern hero, the press called him a madman, an assassin, a coward. He poured out his thoughts and he started writing in his diary. And the diary is important.
I wrote it in my diary.
So we literally, the diary was recovered.
Nice.
And we have a diary of Booth's thoughts in the thicket.
Good.
Yeah. So it's an interesting.
I would like to see how this plays out in the trials.
Yeah, right. They're like, oh, so
he
we're
basically
taking
confessed to everything.
He's like, God damn it.
Just to give you guys an idea, he thought he still to that moment thought he did right.
Oh, he was like
God
justified.
Yes, killing the tyrant. You know, he says, I have too great a soul to die like a criminal.
Okay. Well, you are a fucking criminal, bro.
Yeah. But the idea, or some say that in those writings of when he was in the thicket or the pine, that he was not going to be captured. Like they got the vibe that he was, I'm going to just
kill himself.
Yeah. I'm going to go out.
I'm going to go out.
Yeah, I'm going to go out.
Yeah, I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah. On the night of April 20th, with Union search parties now combing over the areas, Thomas Jones judged it to be safe to move on. He led Booth and Herold to the Potomac River to a remote spot called the Dense Meadow. Under cover of darkness, he gave him a rowboat and directed them to row across the Potomac into Virginia. Jones gave them a rowboat and directed them to row across the Potomac into Virginia. Almost like they felt like Virginia was...
that was the Holy Land, the motherland.
Yes. They attempted to do it pre-dawn, but it didn't go smoothly. The river's currents and Booth and Herold's lack of knowledge and navigation made it so they rowed in a circle.
Oh my God. Can you imagine?
And they landed back in Maryland.
They're like,
we're here.
Oh, yes. And they're like, wait, what? Like, is that your sandwich?
And then they start going north.
I know, they point back up in D.C. They're like, fuck.
I feel like it's something I would do.
I know. We made it, boys. Come back to the same drawbridge and like, fuck.
Anyway, so they were not deterred, frustrated, yes, but then they tried again the next day.
Yeah.
And then they got across. Now in Virginia, Booth felt a surge of relief, wrote in his diary, I'm safe in glorious old Virginia, thank God.
Psych.
But in truth, he underestimated the fact that it was all America.
I know, this is all ours now,
there is no South anymore, actually. The manhunt was closing in, and his ordeal was far from over. In Virginia, Booth and Herold were aided by some other Confederate sympathizers, but the first one was the home of Dr. Stuart King, Richard King in George County. They expected hospitality, but they gave him a meal and said they were uncomfortable harboring fugitives.
Yeah, they're like,
so they said, get to it.
Yeah.
Step. Yeah.
We don't want to get hanged for this. So
that's right. So they literally had a meal and left. Yeah.
You should turn him in for $2 million.
Dude, hell yeah. Dude, we're buying a brand new fucking estate, baby.
Pretty soon they reach Port Conway. Now, this is crazy just how long this is. These are days that this is a fugitive on the loose.
Well, they're also on fucking horseback. So it's like, well, not even on horseback now because they cross the river. They're on foot.
Yeah. And at this point, he thought he was like safe in the South.
Yeah, because he thought he's instantly like.
So there's one story where they came upon rebel soldiers that were basically the rebel soldiers had to surrender, give up their arms, and then travel north and sign a pledge. Right? So they were coming across these rebel soldiers, and he literally just was like, I am John Wilkes Booth. Almost like, I'm your hero.
Yeah, it's like, I am your...
I want you to protect
I'm your
me.
savior.
Yes. So it was just kind of a weird thing, and they were like, fuck you.
They're like, bro, eat a dick.
They're also like, hey, I just survived the war.
Like, I'm not trying to get back into it.
Yes, I don't want to have anything to do with it. So,
but it's also like, why? Like, the more I think about it, I'm like, why did he wait till the war was over to enact this plot? Like, it would have been.
Well, wasn't he trying to do it?
He was trying to do the kidnapping.
Before, yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
that's right.
And then it just kind of
didn't work out.
Didn't work out. He didn't do it. Yeah. So on the evening of April 24th, he was then by Willie Jett, a soldier, told to go to the Garrett family farm. And it was like a tobacco farm. The family, not realizing who the guest was, took him in kindly.
Yeah, I think that ran
So
down.
they say, again.
I didn't know who it was.
So they say.
I've never been to a play.
Booth then had a chance to rest. But by bringing in local Confederate soldiers, he unwittingly left a trail. So he basically got one of the soldiers to tell him, hey, where's the safest place to go?
Yeah, you're adding more people who can talk.
So then the people on the trail started doing interviews, and then they're like, yeah, well,
little Steve over there, asshole.
Yeah, there you go. Meanwhile, the Union manhunt had shifted south. Initially, most searchers thought that he was still hiding in the swamps, but because of more evidence that came about, the Union cavalry discovered Dr. Mudd's farm.
Ooh.
So this is where the Union is at this point.
So
where
they're still
they are
behind,
there.
way
They're
behind.
behind.
They're way behind.
But stupid Mudd left the boots. Yeah. So I don't know why Mudd left the boots in the room.
Like a souvenir?
He's an idiot.
Yeah.
Memorabilia?
So the investigators found the boots, or they basically started questioning him, and they were like, okay, they knew he broke his leg.
Mm-hmm.
They knew he needed a doctor. This was one of the only doctors nearby, and
he's got a pair of cut-off boots.
Yeah, and suspect sympathizer.
Yeah.
Right? So they're like, okay, let's dig in.
Yeah.
And then they find these boots, and then on the inseam of the boots, it says
name.
JWB.
Oh my God.
I mean, again, it's like the MLK where he he left the bag.
I know.
He left the bag.
Not as bad as that, but
yeah.
Sperm sample.
Yeah. A telegram sent to Washington on April 24th relayed local sightings that two men had crossed the Potomac. So again, now they're catching up, right? And they dispatched another team of 26 men, led by Edward Doherty, lieutenant, and 2 detective officers. Anyways, they were 1 day behind Booth at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. On April 25th, Lieutenant Doherty's cavalry detachment reached Port Conway, where Willie Jett, which was one of the soldiers that told him to go to the farm. Mm-hmm. That's when they found him, interviewed him, found out he went to Garrett Farm.
Mm.
They're hot on the trail now.
So now they're hours behind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now the Union and these investigators, or the crew.
Yeah, the 26
men
gentlemen.
They're hours behind. The Garrett's family hospitality to Booth only lasted around 1 to 2 days. On April 25th, Richard Garrett had grown suspicious of the armed strangers that were now staying on the farm.
So they were armed?
Yeah, so they let them stay in the barn.
Mm.
That night, he insisted that Booth and Herold sleep in the tobacco barn rather than the house, as he was growing uneasy.
Yeah, like this is gonna end badly for me.
Yeah, it was a decision that set the stage for the final act of John Wilkes Booth. In the pre-dawn,
the final act, perfect.
In the pre-dawn darkness of April 26, 1865, the Garrett's barking dogs signaled the approaching riders of Lieutenant Doherty's Union cavalry. They had arrived and they surrounded the barn.
Hell yeah, boys!
Trapping Booth and Herold inside. Thus began a tense standoff in the flickering shadows of the old barn. Lieutenant Doherty's men called out and demanded that they surrender.
Booth, come out. We got you surrounded.
David Herold, terrified and seeing the hopelessness of it all, dropped his weapon, stumbled out of the barn, gave himself up immediately.
Oh, for sure.
That left John Booth.
Yeah.
Johnny Booth. He was armed with a carbine, a revolver, and a knife.
Not enough to take out these guys.
No. 26.
Maybe you get like 2 or 3 max. And then
the Union officers, and including Secretary of War Ed Stanton, he wanted him alive.
They
wanted him alive.
They got to make a spectacle about it. It's got to be.
They wanted trial. They wanted public. They wanted all of that. But Booth was in no mood to be taken. He shouted defiantly that he was not afraid to die, and in the darkness, he taunted the posse. At one point, Booth appealed to the humanity of the detective, saying, "Captain, I have got but one leg. If you will withdraw your men 100 yards from the door, I will come out and I will fight you man to man."
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Hit pause on whatever you're listening to and hit play on your next adventure. Stay 2 nights and get a $50 Best Western gift card. Life's a trip. Make the most of it at Best Western. Visit bestwestern.com for complete terms and conditions.
I got a duel.
Yes, he literally wanted a duel.
Legit duel.
And they were like, "Fuck you."
Yeah. I would have been like, "Of course, we're withdrawn."
No problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, Sam got a pistol.
Trust me, they're gone.
Trust me, they're gone.
He added, theatrically, "I know you to be a brave man. I have had 6 opportunities to shoot you, but I did not." Unsurprisingly, the Union officers refused to back away or even engage in this conversation.
No. The answer is no, sir.
At a certain point, negotiations were going nowhere. Soldiers decided to set the barn on fire.
Hell, I was hoping this would happen.
Smoke him out.
Smoke his ass out.
Smoke him out.
Yeah. No one wants to burn to death.
No.
Trust
Nobody.
me. He'll come out.
No. Even on crutches.
I know. He's going to hobble his ass out.
Torches were thrown onto the hay, and soon flames and smoke rose from the structure. As the fire spread behind him, it illuminated Booth's figure. He could be seen hopping toward the door. Some say, and we don't know the answer to this. Some say he was giving up. Some say he was
brandishing weapons.
He had his rifle in his hands, and he was ready to do a suicide charge. During that moment, a sergeant by the name of Boston Corbett took aim through a hole in the wall of the barn and pulled the trigger.
Oh, shit.
Oh, wow.
The bullet struck Booth in the neck about an inch below his skull, strangely, the exact spot that Lincoln was shot.
Oh, wow.
What? Just like karmic retribution?
Boston, his name's Boston Corbett. He almost went against orders.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were trying to take him alive.
Yeah.
So he did a little
peek.
Yeah, and then pulled the trigger. And it's strange. Same spot as Lincoln. Soldiers rushed in, dragged the paralyzed Booth out of the blazes of the barn, and just as the roof began to collapse, they carried the wounded assassin to the porch of the Garrett farmhouse. There, in the early dawn light, they laid him out on a wooden plank, John Wilkes Booth, the once handsome, robust actor.
That was not like fucked up.
The bullet had left him completely paralyzed from the neck down. He asked the soldiers to show him his hands. And when he saw them, he whispered despairingly, useless. Useless.
So melodramatic. I mean, the guy can't help himself, can he?
Those were the final words of John Wilkes
then he
Booth.
died.
And then he died.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
Yeah. Useless.
Useless.
He died useless.
It seems dramatic.
That's what I'm saying. It's so melodramatic.
But do you think it's not real?
I just think
It's part of the legend.
You don't think that he actually said
No,
that?
I think he just was he had to be a showman in the end.
Yeah. Like, you remember when Abe died? And they were like, Stanton said, he belongs to the ages.
Yeah. I think that was added in after the fact.
Like
You think so?
Oh,
it's part of the legend. Right?
It was just like, you gotta like, history is written by the victors. And like, you want to, you love the guy. You want to make him like immortalize him.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Or you're telling campfire stories and
He closed his eyes. He gasped. And he said, useless.
Yeah.
This one belongs to the ages. He gasped, useless. I mean, that was obviously, they were like,
he took his last breath.
He breathed and he said, I suck balls. And they're like, that's what he said. I heard him. Everyone heard him. It was like eyewitness testimony. We all heard him.
And it just keeps passing down.
Yeah. There's I wonder though, like in our own lives, like if you write your story before you pass, you're gonna embellish it a little bit.
Oh, for sure.
Or like
this guy keeping diary. You mean?
And the diary. Well, I'm just saying, like
you're gonna pump it up.
You're gonna pump it up.
If like we ever do like an autobiography, I'm gonna like jazz it up. Oh, dude,
that's what I'm saying.
I was an elite athlete, and like just so like
I was a rising star.
I had 200 D1 offers. Like, a rising star, like only to be.
This was the age of the podcast, and we were on top.
I know.
Oh, no, absolutely.
We started the revolution.
We were number 4 in another country.
In Jamaica.
But we were the top number 4 podcast.
Just omit like the where it is.
I'm going to write an autobiography.
Yeah?
Not now. I haven't accomplished enough.
We're gonna be in it. We're gonna be. This podcast is gonna be in it.
But I'm gonna embellish it. Yeah.
Oh, of course you are. You already edit this podcast to death. Make yourself look like the hero.
Seriously, I was trying to think of like a name to call your autobiography that would make fun of you, and I was like, Eric, receding through the ages, just like my hairline. I'm just kidding. I love
the time traveler.
Eric. No, it's Eric. 4 times to forever.
These
Eric.
are great.
This
is great.
Mankind can accomplish anything.
The ingenuity of Eric.
The ingenuity of mankind.
The ingenuity of man. Eric and the ingenuity of man. Anyways.
So April 26, 1865, John Wilkes Booth died on the garret porch, 26 years old. Yeah. James Swanson put it, the night at the Garrett farm was Booth's last performance on the American stage. Even in his final moments, Booth behaved theatrically, as we just talked about.
Yeah, I mean, that's like
dramatic. He refused to surrender. He was looking for a grand, fiery exit rather than a trial. In his mind, he died a martyr.
Yeah, so he wanted to be like, I want to immortalize myself.
Yeah. Not a criminal, but a
hero.
A hero.
Patriot.
A patriot,
yeah.
I feel bad for the Garretts, though. It's like, how do they explain that? I don't know how I got here. Listen, boys, I'm all for love the North.
Don't worry about that barn.
Yeah, you know what? It's on me. That one's on me.
That's on me.
It's an accident. I don't even know who he was.
The Union soldiers searched his body, found his diary. They found about 8 photographs of girls.
So he was a dude.
Random girls? Like, we don't know.
I mean,
were they like...
Some say he was just a promiscuous... He had many girls.
Okay. Well, he was an actor.
Yeah.
He's like the Leo of his time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But again, those reports are Some say it was 4 pictures. Some say it was 8. Some say, you know what I mean? And
yeah, history's a fickle one, isn't it? Like you never know what's really happening.
Mm-hmm. And other personal items. Booth's corpse was taken back to Washington for identification through dental and medical examination. It was confirmed to be Booth. He did get the coroner did say it was Booth.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
But later conspiracy theorists said it wasn't.
Oh, like he was such a good actor, he acted a different body.
or again, it kind of goes along the vein of like Bin Laden's body.
Well, but the Bin Laden's body, they threw it into the sea.
Yeah.
You can't confirm but I mean, shit. Yeah. And some say that Stanton, the Secretary of War, wanted him to be not memorialized. So like a hidden grave.
Yeah, just
meaning
not even a grave, just in like a swamp.
They didn't want his body, like you know what I mean, like to be, I don't know,
throw him to the
like
no stone.
Yeah, he doesn't get like the proper send off.
But apparently, that his body was buried in an unmarked grave, so nobody knew about it. But then later was moved to the Booth family plot.
I was going to say, like, because like. We would have gone to see it when we went to DC, like when we
to Virginia,
Virginia or Boston, or like we would have. I'd be like, I got to see it.
But again,
he was moved to Washington.
It went to Washington, then was buried in an unmarked grave, and then the Booth family says they recovered it, and then put it into the Booth plot. So there is a Booth plot, but it's the actors.
Yeah, it's all
the family plot. Yeah. So with Booth dead and Herold now in custody, the manhunt ended. But Secretary Stanton's determination to root out all of those that were involved in the murder was just ramping up. As he said when offering the reward, the land had to be purged of the stain of innocent blood. And attention now turned to those who were captured and those who should be punished for being a conspirator.
Everybody that contributed, everybody that
all
contributed
contributors
in any way. Yeah,
they're like starting with the Garretts.
Yeah,
get your fucking ass in the carriage.
Yeah, and the Surratts and the. Anyways, we're gonna go over that here. So in the hours and days immediately following Lincoln's assassination, Union authorities acted swiftly to round up everyone connected to Booth's plot. DC was placed under martial law.
Oh shit!
Roadblocks and checkpoints sprang up even more so, even though...
Well, hopefully they work this time. I mean, they clearly were like super like loosey-goosey before.
Within 24 hours of the actual shooting, police and soldiers arrested dozens of suspects, some innocent, some not.
They were just arrested everybody. Like, fuck it.
Yeah.
By the end of April 1865, all key conspirators, except John Surratt, were all caught and imprisoned, awaiting trial. So this is who they arrested.
Okay.
Yeah. Lewis Powell.
Yes. Jesus, that guy is
the knife-toting
dude.
Slasher,
that guy was the savage.
The Ripper of 1865.
I mean, he was ruthless.
Yeah. Was he one of the ones that had a bounty on him?
No, he didn't have a bounty, but like
there was 3 of them.
Yeah, there was. Yeah. It was
Powell. No, I'm sorry.
No,
it was Booth. John Surratt, the son of the den mother,
and then the
Herold,
who was like the guy,
the guide.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
that's who had that.
But after, because after Powell like stabbed up that whole house, like all 5 of his homies' kids, and him, and then he just like disappeared.
Yeah.
So after his bloody attack on Secretary Seward, Powell got lost in Washington. He literally like wandered around and got lost, covered in blood.
So
remember, he like stabbed 8 people.
Dude, literally.
You don't have some blood on you. Like,
it's like all blood.
All blood. Yeah. He left wandering the streets alone, no escape plan, no getaway horse. Astonishingly or stupidly, he returned to Mary Surratt's house.
I'm just gonna go back to the halfway house, brother.
Around midnight on April 17th, at the very moment that the police were then arresting Mary, he stumbled in.
He like walks in, he's like, "Hey, Mary, I'm back." And they're like, "What?"
He wandered in with a pickaxe, and he pretended that he was a laborer who had come to dig a gutter. The officers were like, "What the fuck? And
you're covered in blood,
bro."
It's not blood. It's mud.
Yes.
You understand?
It's mud.
It's red. I don't know. It's white.
And an important part of the trial is that Mary Surratt, when they said, "Who is this?" she said, "I do not know him."
Yes, you do.
So he was detained.
Obviously.
Confessed immediately.
I'm surprised he didn't try to stab up the cops, too.
Yeah.
Fucking...
And then he was put in jail.
Oh, so he did confess immediately.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the first guy. Then there's Surratt. He was the coward.
He's the guy
I don't want to call him coward because maybe we don't know if it was cowardice
or cowardice. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, correct. So on April 14th, investigators found evidence, including a loaded revolver and a hotel key, linking Surratt to the Kirkwood house, and witnesses saw him there. He fled Washington, but was caught on April 20th hiding at his cousin's farm, and he was brought back to D.C. in shackles.
Okay.
So he's arrested. David Herold.
He's the guy.
The guide.
Yeah. He gave himself up at the barn.
That's right. Okay, so Herold surrendered at Garrett's farm, like you said. He was taken back to Washington under guard. He would face trial alongside the others. Some say he was somewhat bewildered, and many saw him as a follower, not any sort of instigator. But he
wasn't the mastermind, but he was just like a dude.
And he was a young guy. He was like 21, 22. So he was like, he was like a younger man. You know, like almost like influenced.
I know.
I don't know.
By the fucking pizzazz. He's like, you see all these pictures of these bitches I got in my diary? You want some of this action, dog? You trying to be like me? Want to be like Mike?
That's right. Then Mary Surratt, right?
Yeah,
and we had talked about Powell was arrested. So she was being arrested at that moment.
She's got to go down.
So she was arrested at 11 p.m. on April 17th at her boarding house. Detectives had converged on her home because they knew it was a meeting place for the group that was part of the conspiracy. Mary denied everything.
Of course.
But the arrival of Lewis Powell during her interrogation.
It's like the most damning thing ever.
That's right. It was a damning piece of evidence. It strongly suggested that she, or at least her house, was the center of the web.
Yeah, it's like the horse. You're like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know these people. Like, dude walks in smothered in blood.
And she was the first woman to be charged in this magnitude. And I mean, I don't want to give you the end. But So she was arrested, thrown in prison.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shackled.
I
wonder how did they have like segregated prisons back then?
No, hell no.
Oh, she's just in with the boys.
Yeah, she's in with the boys.
Oh my God, that must have sucked for her. They're like, oh, what do we have here, gentlemen? Oh, it's lights out. Okay.
Also, and then Dr. Samuel Mudd was arrested.
Oh, good. Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Initially, after Booth left his farm, Mudd did not report the visit.
Of course he didn't, because he's fucking guilty.
When authorities finally reached Mudd's farm by evidence of their black servant who said Booth was there,
yes,
Mudd lied to investigators, claiming not to even recognize him, but then evidence came out that he knew him beforehand.
It's like, okay, I might have potentially recognized. He was in character, so he's just really good.
So Mudd
also
was
didn't he get like shit sent to him beforehand or whatever?
2 weeks ahead, supposedly, right? And anyways, and Mudd was arrested as a collaborator who gave him medical aid in Safe Haven. Then there was somebody by the name of Samuel Arnold. He was tracked down via letters found in Booth's trunk, implicating him in the kidnapping.
Oh, so he was part of like the original ploy.
Kidnapping. Yeah, that's right. Arnold was arrested on April 17th in Virginia, where he was working. He freely admitted involvement in the kidnapping plan, but said he had nothing to do with the assassination.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
Nonetheless, he was arrested.
Yeah, sorry, homie, you're going down.
Yeah. Okay, and then there's Michael O'Loughlin. He actually turned himself in Baltimore. And like Arnold, he also admitted to being involved in the kidnapping, but not the,
Yeah, well, the U.S. government is not going to give us.
We'll see what happens with the trials, but they probably thought like, well, I wasn't part of this. I'm going to get off.
I mean, you are part of a kidnapping.
Right.
Yeah, but the fact that no kidnapping happened.
True.
It's like, what do you?
But if us three we're gonna kidnap,
it's called a
U.S. president.
No, Sydney Sweeney.
No, not even. It's fucking president.
We're gonna treat her real nice. Don't worry about it. It's gonna be a brutal kidnapping. But it's gonna be very nice.
But then we don't do anything.
Luxurious kidnapping.
Just gonna get to know us too.
I know. You want some oysters?
Gonna be some bathwater involved.
Some champagne. We get to know each other.
Yeah.
We just want to talk.
I just want to connect with her. I just want to connect.
A vibe on a real level.
Yeah, I want to get to know her.
No, but
did you hear Tom Brady's now?
Oh my god,
that can't be real.
That can't be real.
No, but if
it's real,
dude. But if he does
it can be real.
I mean, does that solidify him as the goat of all goats?
Tell everybody what you're talking about. They don't know what you're talking about.
So, Tom Brady was reportedly like hitting on and hanging out with and whatever with Sweeney
at Jeff Bezos' wedding.
That's right,
Sydney Sweeney. Yeah.
See, but
so they're like 20 years apart.
Who cares?
But yeah,
I mean, can you hit a home run every time?
I mean,
if you're Tom Brady,
apparently Tom Brady, all he does is win.
He can hit a touchdown anytime.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, like this will end the GOAT debate. if he fucking lands it. I'm sorry, like MJ, you're gonna have to, it's Tom Brady. It's Tom Brady.
That's a good point.
Just in the overall life,
just life winning. He's literally he looks 10 times better than he did 20 years ago.
Yeah, all he knows how to do is win.
He fucking all he does is win.
No, but that's money.
She's rich
money
too.
Makes no, but true. Money. No, okay. Let me just.
It's not like she's like a broke bitch. Like
let's say our podcast like really took off.
And then Eric looks like Tom Brady. I'm like,
honestly, you have no idea how much different we would look.
Dude, I'm gonna be.
We would be so. Oh my god.
Eric will look like Fabio.
Yeah.
Eric's gonna have 12 inches of hair.
Anyways, okay. That was a not related to this.
Yeah.
So, sorry,
weird
guys.
turn there.
You're the one that started talking about Sweeney.
Sorry. Yeah. But then the last person that was arrested was Edmund Spangler.
Okay.
Do you remember Spangler?
I remember Spangler.
He was arrested on April 15th, the day after the assassination. Fellow theater employees implicated Spangler as the one who held Booth's horse and possibly helped him get out the door.
Yes.
But remember, it was confusing because Peanuts did.
Yeah, because then Spangler like pawned it off to Peanuts.
That's right.
Probably to give himself an alibi.
Yeah.
But see, I wanted to say, though, about the guys who were involved in the kidnapping plot, who obviously the kidnapping didn't happen.
Yeah.
It's still considered criminal conspiracy.
For sure.
Like, because if you're like legitimately, you have a plan of execution of doing a criminal activity, you can still be charged.
Yeah, but is it,
it's
the, same,
not,
is it the same crime?
No, it's not as... It's
and it'll
not
be a low sentence.
Yeah, it's not a high of a level of like doing it.
Yeah,
but it's still
but that crime didn't go through. So like, is it still
no? Because you were literally trying. It's called like it's a criminal conspiracy.
Yeah, but hear me out.
True, you were still like
plotting. Imagine if like you're like, hey, like we're gonna plot to kill this person, but you get stopped beforehand. It's not like, oh, I'm off. We didn't do it. It's like you were going to do it.
Now let's talk about the ethics of it. So let's say us three were like, we hate this guy and we're gonna kill him, and we actually plan it.
Yeah.
Like we would go to jail. Friday.
We would go to jail.
Do all this
100%.
But for what?
For a criminal conspiracy,
conspiring.
And that's
the
get a couple years.
The charge is a criminal conspiracy. I don't know what the years is, but that's literally it's like you're planning. Like,
it wasn't just like an idea.
You know, if you just say like this person sucks and like they're an asshole, like that's not a crime. But like you plan
when they
the
get
crime,
caught, that they hire like a hitman to take out their wife or
exactly.
their husband.
It's
attempted murder. Almost.
I think so.
Yeah.
Almost.
No, it's attempted murder. Yeah, it would be attempted murder. Yes. For sure.
Especially if they have plans formulated.
Yeah, especially.
It'd be one thing to be like,
no, that's what I'm saying. Like saying something off the cuff is not the same as like you literally have a plan.
Yeah.
Like this is what we're gonna do. This is how we escape. This is the
we
fucking
have letters.
Thing.
We have, you know.
There's proof that they were actually like gonna do it.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. All right. There you go. So by late April, 8 primary defendants were in custody. Mary Surratt, Lewis Powell, George Adsurratt, David Herold, Dr. Mudd, Samuel Arnold, and Michael McLaughlin and Edmund Spangler. The government was convinced this group constituted Booth's conspiracy. John Surratt was still at large.
Okay.
And he was the son of Mary.
The son of the chick who got arrested.
Secretary Stanton and the new president, Andrew Johnson, were determined to make an example of them and ensure maximum punishment.
Yeah. Maximum.
Given the exceptional nature of the crime and attack on the government itself, authorities decided the conspirators would be tried by military tribunal.
Not like a regular court.
Not by a court, not by a jury of your peers.
Yeah, jury of military motherfuckers.
Wish we had that these days.
I know, the tribunal.
Do you? You haven't heard shit about the people that try to assassinate Trump. Have you?
Nope.
No.
Not a drop, not a one word.
It's because he's dead.
Well, no, there's multiple. There's another dude who tried to as well. Yeah, at his golf course.
But it's not like related to the guy in.
Well, it's not related.
He still tried to assassinate him. So.
No, I know, but it's not related to the
first guy.
Yeah, the first. guy.
No.
Yeah. Well, that we know of. Yeah.
Okay, so let me just finish this, and then I'm gonna see if we're on the same page. Yeah. This was controversial since civil courts were functioning, and some argued the accused deserved a civil trial. None of them are military.
Yeah, I agree with the military tribunal.
But the administration feared that a civilian jury in Washington might be too lenient.
Yeah, too sympathetic, too. Well, I mean, just maybe 2 years in prison sounds good, right?
Yeah. Or they were worried about getting off on a legal loophole.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or it's maybe you get some people on the thing who are sympathizers with the South. And they're like, I kind of like slaves.
A military court-martial would operate swiftly and under looser evidentiary rules.
Yeah, for sure.
So you don't need as much.
Yeah, the military court's very different.
Are you guilty until proven innocent in the military?
No, you're still innocent.
Okay,
but it's not
by the judge.
It's there. The judge makes the. It's a tribunal,
no
so it's a tribunal. So there's a small group of people who make the decision, but it's not a jury.
It's just a bunch of judges.
Yeah, and they're like, we decide what your fucking fate is.
But the government chooses who those judges are.
100%. Yeah. Well, it's all done by the government. It's all
jury is randomized.
Yes. Yeah. To an extent. Yeah.
What happened to?
So you like that better?
Like trial by our peers.
Well, dude, this is
1865.
Yeah, this is the 1800s. I mean, this is a different time. They just killed the dude who literally was
everybody's enraged. The whole country's up in arms.
Just won a war.
I gotta say right out the gate, I don't agree with that.
You think it should be a jury? Is what you're
saying?
Yeah,
that's what we're built on. That's what this country is built on.
Yeah, but
is that you're not beholden to a military judge saying "fuck you" and you.
But don't you think?
But weren't they also
hanged?
Confederate generals or not generals? But weren't they part of the military?
One of them was.
No, but here, think of it this way:
Booth was never part of the military.
No, but Eric, think of it this way: in their minds, most likely they're seeing this as a military action,
a coup.
It's exactly. Yeah. It was a plot to literally destroy the government. Right. So therefore, they just finished this war. Fucking 2 weeks late before.
Not even 2 weeks.
Yeah. And now you have someone who's literally trying to take out 3 of the 30 highest ranking members of the U.S.
They're
the
trying
U.S. government.
to collapse the government.
It's a little different if they shot a dude because they got pissed off. Obviously you're not going to have a military fucking tribunal. Yeah. But you try to kill the president, the vice president, and the secretary of state. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's a military matter now.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're in a wartime.
Yeah.
Washington, D.C. was already on a fucking, what do they call it? A military fucking
curfew.
So it's shit's still on wartime.
Right.
And then Washington, D.C. went into fucking martial law. Yeah. So when martial law got instituted, it doesn't fucking matter what you think is cool. It's martial law now.
That's so
therefore,
all right.
By the law, if it's martial law, the government and military have complete control.
Yeah.
Right.
100% control.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's why I think they did it.
All right.
I'm not saying like today, if like that would happen, it probably wouldn't happen. And
you're looking at it through like 2025.
The lens of 2025, it definitely wouldn't happen. For sure.
Yeah. Okay. I guess okay.
Yeah, like it would not. It would not happen today. Argument. It would not happen today.
I don't usually get turned by Sean. I don't usually get turned by Sean.
He's literally gonna go home and tell his wife, he's like, "Sean's so full of shit."
No, but I thinking about it and going, okay, like let's say it happened today.
It would not happen today. There's no way.
No. Let's just say it. Yeah. Let's just say it happened today.
Like somebody was trying to take out.
Tried to take out Trump.
Yep.
Vance, and Marco Rubio.
Yeah, Rubio.
Yeah.
All at the same time. And Trump died. Would it be a military tribunal?
Probably not.
No, I don't think so.
I do.
You think so?
Well,
because we're not at war.
No. But here's the thing. I don't think it would be military tribunal, but I don't think any of them would be taken in alive. They wouldn't be take them alive. They would just be like, kill on sight.
No, I'm talking about the 8 conspirators. Because Booth was killed.
No, but I'm saying
he was supposed to not be killed.
No, they would all be resisting.
Yeah.
100 guaranteed there'd be a lot of resistance.
But I'm just saying,
and they would all be fucking killed. Whoopsie daisy, they resisted.
If it was the same circumstances where you killed the shooter and then you had conspirators.
No, wouldn't be a military tribunal.
It wouldn't.
Yeah. I mean, look at fucking.
It
wouldn't be.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
I think that, like, even for example, it's like fucking homie who killed fucking JFK. Well, supposedly killed JFK. Yeah, Lee Harvey Oswald. There wasn't a military tribunal. He was gonna. He was
killed. Yeah.
No, but he was killed before. But he was going to get a trial. But he was going to get a regular trial. There wasn't a military tribunal. It was a regular trial.
Also, James Earl Ray got a trial.
Exactly.
Who's that again? MLK.
MLK.
He shot MLK.
But obviously, MLK is not a government.
Sirhan got a trial.
Exactly.
Yeah, but we're talking about the
and
US
he's trying to appeal
president,
after
the
appeal
vice
after
president.
appeal
Like,
after
it's a
appeal
whole
after
different
appeal.
thing.
I mean, Sirhan killed a presidential candidate, and he was an attorney general. So he's not like he is a government figure.
It wasn't a yeah. I mean, it was a conspiracy.
Well, obviously,
but it wasn't a conspiracy to take out the government.
Well, he was a governmental figure though.
Yeah.
But I'm saying with MLK, he's obviously a very pivotal figure in America, but he wasn't in the government.
Yeah, that's right.
So therefore, it's like you can't
and
really
also
pull in.
pivotal government position.
Yeah. But if there was like, if we were at war right now,
and
then someone assassinated Trump, it would be military tribunal for sure.
Okay.
If you're in war times, that's an act of war.
So if this was
it's an act of war.
If this was like right around 9/11 and they killed Bush.
Oh, dude, if military. They'd be going to Guantanamo.
True.
That's straight to Guantanamo.
That's a good question, because that was war. That was quote unquote wartime.
Straight to Guantanamo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been.
You have no rights. You have no fucking
law. Sure.
No, that's they would be like. We never found him.
Yeah.
He's getting tortured to death.
Yeah.
Who are your fucking conspirators?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So I think it depends. Like I think if you are in wartime, there is merit for that.
Yeah.
Because it is. Let's be real. It's an act of war to try to take out the 3 highest people in the government when you're in wartime.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not like.
This episode is brought to you by Greenlight. Get this. Adults with financial literacy skills have 82% more wealth than those who don't. From swimming lessons to piano classes, us parents invest in so many things to enrich our kids' lives. But are we investing in their future financial success? With Greenlight, you can teach your kids financial literacy skills like earning, saving, and investing. And this investment costs less than that after-school treat. Start prioritizing their financial education and future today with a risk-free trial at greenlight.com/Spotify. Greenlight.com/Spotify.
Get unready with me while I talk about my favorite beauty hack, Colgate Optic White Pro Series toothpaste. This unique formula is able to dissolve even those deep-set stains below the surface of your teeth, brightening your smile inside and out. The best part? Twice daily brushing with Colgate Optic White Pro Series toothpaste gives you a visibly whiter smile in just 3 days. But I'll let the results speak for themselves. Colgate Optic White. Find it at all major retailers.
Yeah.
You know, he fucked your wife, and you're like, you gotta die.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I have a hard time really getting wrapping my head around this fucking ragtag group of fucking misfits who were able to pull this off. Like, doesn't that seem like odd that they were able to pull this off?
This is in the time of no Secret Service.
Yeah,
true.
First of all,
lackadaisical bridge guards.
The lackadaisical
everything.
Presidential guards.
Yeah, no kind of technology. There's no radio. There's no cameras. There's no
there's no internet. There's no fucking cell phones.
Even the gun was like
one shot. You got a one shot and a blade.
Yeah. So it's easier, I guess, in that time to get away with it.
But it still seems so. I guess it's so.
Are we leaning towards? Are we leaning towards this is just a band of people, not a major conspiracy?
No, I think it's a major
where are you
conspiracy.
at right now?
Major conspiracy.
Oh, for
really?
Sure. Oh, dude, I'm definitely thinking.
Especially because they were conspiring first for the kidnapping.
They had like meetings, like you know what I mean. They met.
This was planned for a little while. I feel like, and well, based on what we talked about in the evidence and all that, they did conspire to do the kidnapping.
Yeah.
So then, obviously the war ended and they gotta I think the guy just went fucking psycho. Was like, I gotta take this guy out. Yeah, just his, his hatred emotion just took over and fucking.
See, that's why I think that James Earl Booth was he's
James Earl Booth. John Wilkes.
Was sorry, James Earl Jones. Great guy.
Same guy.
Anyways, Booth, I think he was he's like the asset. Like he's the one that you initiate because
he wasn't the head.
No, because I think
the guy
that
behind everything.
He thought that he was actually going to be a martyr, and I think he thought that so hard because he had someone being like, you don't understand what you're doing for us.
Right.
Like, you're going to be the fucking face of our fucking movement. And they're like, they knew this fucking guy was going to get fucking killed.
Yes.
They knew he was never getting out. But they're like, sick. If we can get him to do it for us, he'll get killed. It'll never come back to us. Who gives a shit?
Yes.
But you can make a guy who's that passionate, especially he clearly was passionate about his beliefs. You can fucking rev that guy up to do something crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true.
There's always somebody.
It's a zealot.
It's a zealot.
There's always somebody behind the scenes pulling the strings.
Yeah, but you see it holding
funding
back.
the
It's
thing.
We're gonna fucking worship you.
Yeah,
you will
be a hero.
literally be
they knew
a hero.
what his how to push the buttons on him.
Oh, for sure, they were fucking slamming it on him.
Okay, and then I have a question, which is that I want you guys to go through. Let's go through the 8 people who are arrested.
Okay.
Just so our audience knows, they don't know. I mean, they know a little. Like Sean
I
and Jorge.
I don't know who got hanged. I don't know any. I don't know who got
so
killed.
I just want, based on what you know the whole story now.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what should they get before we go into? So part 3, just so you guys all know, is the trial.
Yeah.
And the conspiracies. So right now, I want to know.
Garrett's get hanged.
So Garrett's aren't even arrested.
They should be.
They weren't even arrested.
No, they weren't even arrested, bro.
Remember the 8 people? Yeah, the 8 people. They were not
Garretts
arrested.
were not in. Which is fucking insane to me.
I thought they did get arrested.
You're
when
harboring
the guy,
a fugitive.
Yes.
So Lewis Powell.
Oh, dude, he's got. I mean, Powell should just get beheaded. That guy is the biggest piece of shit.
So Lewis Powell is the
he's the guy who knifed everybody.
He definitely
knifed four of his the dude's sons. He knifed the nurse. He knifed
should get
the other
hung
two.
and then shot at the same time.
Okay. Then there's Ad Surratt. So he was the guy who was supposed to kill Johnson, but he drank and he was like, I lost my nerve.
I think life in prison.
Okay.
Life in prison for Ad Surratt.
Yeah. Okay. Not hanging.
No. He didn't do anything. I say pussed out. He
was so close.
He was so close. That's what I'm saying. Life in prison.
Like if it wasn't for him, would it even happen?
Life in prison.
No. Hang.
All right.
Hang.
Hang man, baby.
So Mary Surratt.
Oh, hang for sure. Hang. That bitch. I think she was
accommodated.
Yeah.
But she didn't.
Dude, she was a pseudo mastermind. She was fucking plugging this whole. She sent her fucking son away. You know she sent her son away. Ooh, get out of here, sweetheart. Like, dude, she fucking
getting
hang
real.
her ass. Yeah. She's getting hanged.
Yeah.
I think she's not getting hanged. But
she's getting hanged.
What does she deserve?
I don't think.
What does she deserve? Hang.
I'm gonna go life.
Bro,
life in prison.
Yeah, life.
Okay, whoa. What?
Bro, she had.
No. Shut the fuck up.
Right.
No, shut up.
She just
shut
fucking
up.
like
She put a couple irons there.
No, shut the fuck up.
Just a couple little bit of harboring. Like
you literally
little knifey poo.
Jorge thinks the dude who couldn't go through with it should get hanged. But the chick who logistically made it happen should get life in prison. She would not. She fucking made it happen. Remember she had the thing,
but I think she's gonna get the worst of it.
She's like, get the fucking the gun irons on. Like, what the fuck?
But I think she's gonna end up getting the worst of everything because I don't know. Just
Explain
because she's a
to me-
woman.
explain
Just
to
because
me-
she's a woman, I bet you she's gonna get like
Really?
the worst.
Oh,
Yeah.
Explain to me your logic why she doesn't deserve to get hanged. And homie who fucking like, I can't do this. This is bad. Hang.
I don't know.
What the fuck?
So you think?
Sentimental.
No, like, so what do you think? You think she should get life?
He already said life.
You said life. Your life. Okay.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
She
I
deserved to
agree.
be hanged.
I agree. With Jorge.
You guys are both.
I mean, I was like, I just said,
I know.
I just
It's
said
not
two
like
hangs.
enough.
I just had two hangs, and it's like now I'm like at
That's
the
not enough.
I'm at the third person. I'm like, that's enough hanging.
but the dude is like, I'm supposed to do this, but I can't do this. I'm gonna go get drunk instead because I can't go through with it. Hang.
But he didn't do anything.
I know.
No, he's in on it.
Mary Surratt
He's
did
definitely
something.
in on
She
it.
did.
She did something.
She did so much shit.
Yeah,
she
she did.
facilitated all of this. They went to her spot after they killed his
but I think
man.
that police-
After the bridge.
After they
Straight
killed
there.
him.
And they got a weapon.
I know they got guns from her.
That's true. That's true.
But they're like, life in prison. Jorge's like 6 months early parole.
Work program.
House arrest.
Work program.
House arrest. Back to the brothel.
24 hours of community service.
Jorge's in a brothel work program.
A work release. Look, it's gonna suck, but you're gonna like it better than death.
Okay, David Herold.
Which was
He was the guide.
He was the guide. Hanged. Hang. He's the guide.
You're just hanging everybody.
Dude,
Coming from okay,
they killed our president. They killed our president.
Dude, he was the guide. He was the getaway driver. Like with that, they didn't have cars. He was the getaway driver. Like that's what his role was.
But do you give him anything for giving up? No.
No, I would give up. You have 26 armed men around you in a barn. You're
The
like,
barn's on fire.
the barn's on, don't give up. Oh no, he's getting hanged.
Yeah, he's just as
Harold.
much.
That's a hang.
He's
That's a hang.
just as
He's
much
a
into
kid,
it.
though.
He's a getaway driver,
I
bro.
feel bad for him, yeah, but all right.
Yeah,
I don't.
Okay.
Getaway driver.
Okay. Dr. Mudd.
I think he should get at least 30 years.
Okay.
At least
no
30
hanging.
years.
Wow.
No
No,
hanging.
because he just
No hanging.
he helped them
He
out
helped them.
afterwards. He didn't.
He has a good defense. He can hide behind his like medical oath, quote unquote.
No,
right?
but
like,
but he lied saying he didn't recognize him, but it's proof that he knew who he was.
Yes.
So that's why I'm like 30 years. He's getting 30.
that's a good.
25 to life. 25 to life.
Good point.
25 to life. 25 to life.
Okay. Jorge?
Definitely not. I wouldn't say hang. I would say fuck it, life. Like he's got it. He definitely knew what was up.
He knowingly
But I
he
do
knew
think
it
he has a
up.
good defense behind the medical oath. So I don't think if I
you
was
believe
in
him?
a jury, I wouldn't be like, oh, this
No, but
guy's
it's a
100.
tribunal. Don't.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, that's right.
They're like, hey. They're like, hey.
Everybody's already
No,
fucking
but-
convicted before
But
this
do you
shit
believe
starts.
him in any way?
Hell no, he's full of shit. He's so full
I do.
of shit.
I do. I
God
do.
damn it, Jorge.
I do.
When did you get so
A little bit.
fucking soft?
Like maybe he like knew him, but not really.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't think
you
he
know,
was like part of the whole
Also, don't
kidnapping
forget-
conspiracy. First
Yeah.
of all, because you're not going to plan for some like medical
Yeah.
emergency if you're
Also,
kidnapping.
it's 4 a.m. I don't know if I would recognize Sean at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
coming in at my
Are
door.
you the dude that sent me the booze and fucking rations? I don't know.
B-list celebrity?
I'm already drunk. I'm already drunk off the whiskey. Man, who is this?
Okay.
What about you?
Yeah, what do you think? Fucking, it can't just be us.
I think his. Good question. I think most of his life.
Okay.
Not. I don't know how old he is. He's probably like 30.
Yeah,
So
let's
how
say
much?
he's
I'd say
30.
20 years. Yeah, I'm with the 20 years.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Where,
I
like,
can
he's-
live with
you
that.
give me that. Yeah. Samuel Arnold.
What the fuck?
He was arrested as
Remind me
being
of this
part
guy?
of the kidnapping. He's not really even part of the story.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna say like
Oh, that's right.
10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
He wasn't a part of the murder. He was conspiring to kidnap 10,
like we were
15.
talking about earlier. Like he's definitely guilty.
He's guilty for sure.
I'm gonna go a little lenient. I'm gonna go 5.
Really?
5 with the work release program
of conspiring to kidnap the U.S. president. Say that again.
Yeah, but he didn't.
Yeah,
do
10 to
anything.
15. Let's go 10 to 15. Yeah, 10 to 15 sounds good.
Okay, and then also is McLaughlin. So, but it's the same thing.
10 to 15.
The other guy that was arrested.
Yeah,
it was the same.
If the other guy's getting 10 to 15, he should get. The same.
And last one, Spangler.
What was Spangler?
He's the guy with the horse. Outside of the, he was arrested. And he's on trial.
He's getting,
the guy
getting
that said go to Peanut.
Yeah, he's getting 25. He's getting away driver.
I think that guy should get off.
Okay.
But he won't.
Like he's the only one.
He won't,
Yes.
bro.
Yeah.
Eric, I'm sorry. If someone killed the president and you're like, oh, here's my car, here's a car, they're gonna fucking crucify your ass.
But we don't know.
No, but he didn't know that at the time. He just said
he tried to pawn it off on a little black kid. Oh wow, get him off! Like I know, he pawned it off on a 12-year-old.
So you think that he knew that he was going to kill the president that night?
Why would you need a getaway horse? And you're like
True.
what the fuck? Like, hey, look, I'm performing tonight. I need a getaway horse. Just trust me on this.
I need to go really fast. It needs to be fed and massaged.
I need like water and shit. Like, yeah,
he needed to be ready.
He knew something was going down.
Okay, that's
like,
true.
No one's that dumb.
Okay.
If he did, then he doesn't get off.
But what do you think he gets? Or what do you think he should get?
10 to 15.
Oh, fine. I can live
10 to 15.
If he knew, if he was in on it,
you guys are ruthless,
Jorge.
Bro, if he
they killed the president.
Exactly. Don't say Jorge. You mean Eric?
I'm sorry, Eric.
What the fuck?
I'm sorry. I was.
But if you think about it, he might not even been part of it.
No, but to Sean's point, like if he knew that they needed a getaway horse,
who needs a getaway horse when they're an actor?
That's right.
That's your evidence.
Yes. Eric, if you came to me and were like, hey, I need a car like running and fully gassed up.
I needed to be ready.
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, you work for a fucking technology company. What do you need a getaway car for? And he's like, don't ask questions. Like I would go to jail for sure.
On Spangler? Probation.
Okay, you're crazy.
Yeah, that one.
Probation, that's it.
I don't know, but Sean made a good point. Like, if he knew
evidence.
that there was a getaway horse, like he knew something was going
He
down.
pawned it off on Peanuts.
Yeah, but he
that
knew.
doesn't make it okay, Eric. Like, that doesn't make it right.
That's right.
You're like, oh well, here, take this gun from me, little man. All right, yeah, it's all good, bro. I'm like,
man.
what did I do? I didn't do shit.
All right.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, we're gonna find out in the next episode because in part 3 we're gonna go over the trial. And then we're also going to go over the conspiracies. And so the conspiracies are crazy because there's also a bank trail to Montreal.
Ooh, they got wires.
So, and I'll just give you a little snippet. The Confederacy Secret Service was operating.
Oh, so they had fucking Confederates had a Secret Service and we didn't?
Booth,
what the hell?
Booth sent $500 to a joint kind of bank account to the Confederacy Secret Service in Montreal.
There's a Cash App receipt.
But we don't know why.
How do they have Secret Service in Montreal? They're the South. Montreal is hella north.
That's Canada.
Yeah.
So they're like
It's so
outside
north.
of. No, I know, but it's outside of the purview of the Union.
But
right.
You know what I mean? So you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
operate
yeah.
with a bank, shipping, supplies.
But I think of like
100%.
Canada.
all
Like,
the things.
I feel like
I would do that.
Yeah.
But I feel like Canada's so like, hey, we fucking love everyone, eh? Like the blacks are cool, eh? Like I don't have a problem. Like I feel like Canadians are like super bad.
I think at that time it was a little bit more open, a little bit more, for lack of a better
Yeah, they
word,
work the
free.
salmon hatcheries, slaves.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're gonna go into that conspiracy of whether or not. Here's the big question, right? Obviously, we're gonna go over the trial and whether or not these people got the right sentencing for what they did.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure this episode's getting me out of all jury duty. They're like, yeah, nope.
But in addition to what we're gonna go over is, like, we haven't even talked about it, which is, was the Confederacy involved?
I think they were, bro.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
We talked about
Davis.
I brought it up a little bit.
Yeah,
a little taster's choice.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Like, who would? I mean, if you want to,
I mean,
you know what I mean? The Confederacy.
That smells Confederacy. Yeah,
exactly.
It's also half the country.
Right.
Like, to be honest, it's not like it's like 20 dudes. Yeah. They're like, yeah, slaves, bro.
Yeah. And what's crazy too is that
they literally just went to war for this. Like, there's it's not like, a long shot that they would conspire to take this guy down.
They were more than willing to kill any Union man.
Almost like a last ditch effort.
Yeah.
Like a last.
Yeah. Even if they lost, it's almost like a fuck you. Like, I'm gonna fucking take
you down in flames.
Yeah. I mean, it's like it's almost like that's the 1800s concept of a suicide bomber.
Yeah.
Like fuck
kamikaze.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's to fucking take out what we can and fuck them.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we'll go over, because a lot happened. The trial occurred, and then actually, what's crazy?
Don't give up too much info.
No, some people were hanged, and we'll go over that. But there's a photo of it.
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah. It's one of the earliest photos ever, and it's of the people who were hanged.
I gotta see this.
So you can see this photo. It's pretty wild. Yeah. Anyways, then we'll go over the conspiracies and all that sort of thing, and
make our conclusions.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. And before we shove off, we want to do a real big acknowledgement to an anonymous donor of a pretty big donation. And I just wanted to really say, and we're going to keep it anonymous, but just want to say thank you, man or girl. And but really appreciated to keeping the show alive. And our Patreons and all of these sort of things. It's a, I don't want to say it's a non-profit organization, but it's a very limited.
Yeah, it's like minor. It's like
revenue kind of scenario. Yeah.
No, but like it's like this was something that we actually said we didn't want, and this person did it anyways, and it's super appreciated.
Yeah,
it's like it's super
nice.
Fucking,
thank you very
like,
much.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it definitely helps.
The amount of support, like besides all the bullshit that we get, obviously we share on the Discord even all the bad reviews. We give you guys everything. It's a total open book.
Yeah.
But like the support really makes it worth continuing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
that's right.
You guys liking it and you guys enjoying it and getting the laughs and like having fun and being able to share that with us really makes this like a fun, like, because we have fun together, but it's really fun to have fun with you guys. Like we actually have a lot of fun with you. And I know Jorge's never in the Discord, but me and Eric have a lot of fun with you fucking guys.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and I'll just add that, again, very appreciative. And we were even talking about like, how are we going to, use this money, reinvest it to do some very cool stuff that you guys are going to like.
Yes, we literally had a 30-minute merch discussion before we started this episode.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just so you know. Yeah. We are going to do it. It's going to happen. I swear
we talk about this so much, but this donation is definitely going to make it a lot more real and to get it off the ground. So
yeah. So there you go, guys. Leave us a review. We're trying to push Apple right now, even if you most of our listeners are on Spotify.
Yep.
So just go over to Apple real quick. Leave us a review. It helps us. Subscribe to it. We're trying to expand the show. So
what also helps us is comments on Spotify. So if you let us know what you think about this so far. Also, of course, if you got a like and subscribe to Spotify, to Apple, to Instagram,
Facebook,
all that
all
shit
the
helps.
shit. Like it takes you 1 second, and it actually makes a huge difference. It's a bizarre amount of difference.
You'd be surprised how much it helps.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like the algos are wild.
Yeah.
Like it's really like a small thing makes a big difference.
Yeah. So we'll catch you guys next time on the part 3 of the
Conspiracy
Podcast.
Nighty night. Hey guys, it's us again. You ever heard of Patreon? Because we just started one. Exclusive content, Discord, which I'm still figuring out. But but we get to talk.
You can suggest new episodes or just let us know something that we already talked about and you want to get in on the conversation. We're there for you.
We're also coming out with shirts and other merch.
There are 2 ways you can sign up for exclusive content. The first is through Spotify. There's a link in our profile description that links you to the Spotify premium page. And that's only $2.99 a month. And it gets you an ad-free experience and it gets you extra episodes that come out every month. The other way is through our Patreon. All you got to do is go to Patreon and search The Conspiracy Podcast. and you'll find us. There are many different levels there, all giving different amounts of content.
Yeah, because guys, this really does help us. We do this virtually for free, so help us help you enjoy yourselves.